Video 14. Are safety and public order harms caused by drug use or drug illegality? Now, let us look at the safety and public order harms part of the drug problem. These harms include fear and restricted mobility, reduced property value near markets, widespread violation of law, psychopharmacological violence, compulsive acquisitive violence, and systemic violence. Some of these safety and public order harms, when detected, judged potentially criminal and brought to court, become criminal justice harm, so note that there is a bit of overlapping. The safety and public order harms, again with Stone's users as a main exception, are caused mainly by the sort of criminality that by definition is a result of the fact that drugs are illegal and what follows from this: lack of control, higher prices, criminalization, criminality, great profits, cornering, etc. Safety and public order harms relate to categories such as abuse and restricted mobility and fear, i.e. violence and the fear thereof. There are three main forms of violence. 1. Psychopharmacological violence is violence caused by users high on drugs, and as we have already seen, it's hard to tell what way this would change with legalization. This form of violence, however, is probably the least serious overall. 2. Acquisitive violence is violence designed to procure money to purchase drugs. Drugs are expensive, so this form of violence would diminish in proportion to legalization's reduction in prices. 3. Systemic violence is violence due to the way the drug market is structured. Such, often gang-related violence, would diminish not in proportion to the reduction in price, really, but in proportion to the reduction in profit. This form of violence, at least in terms of murders, is by far the worst. If one assumes that fear and depreciation of property value, etc., are proportionate to real violence, then legalization would deal safety and public order harms a severe blow indeed. And, though it will depend on the profit reduction, that in turn will depend mainly on the legal price and on how much law enforcement remains, systemic violence is likely to shrink considerably, and heroin substitution alone would go a long way to reduce both acquisitive and systemic violence. Next, we shall look at the socio-economic harms, part of the drug problem, and ask whether these are caused by drug use or drug illegality.